Hello everyone, Ramafool here, and today we have a new type of review video. Now, this is actually on some items that have already been released, but are still surprisingly in stock. Yes, as you can see, today we will be looking at all four of the Thomas & Friends Motorized Talking Engines from 2021. So in this wave we had Thomas, Diesel, James, and Gordon. I actually wasn't planning on reviewing any of these, nor was I even tempted to buy them when they came out. However, it's been about 2.5 years now since this line died, yet they're still available online at a fairly decent price. Also, with 2020 being the last year to feature new original series characters, I've decided to look into some of the newer rolling stock and accessories. So, by mid-2023, I went ahead and bought these on Amazon for about $21 to $24 each. Of course, like the models from the Talking Thomas and Percy set, these are made to interact with and recognize each other. So let's go ahead and start off with Thomas. Now, given that I already own a talking version of him from the set, I originally had no intention of getting this one. But it does have some features that I find quite intriguing, such as different phrases. Plus, I already had the other 3 packs, so at that point I thought it would feel kinda weird not having all 4 of them. So I ended up getting him as well. Anyway, this Thomas has mud splattered over him, and he also has sort of a muddy brown running board and dark gray wheels. And those are pretty much the only main differences with this one compared to its predecessor. When I first saw promotional images of it, these kinda looked more like paint scratches to me. But in person, I think it's easier to tell that it's supposed to be mud, especially when looking at his face, cause that's all muddy too. Although the print quality with the eyes on my model is pretty sloppy. I don't really fret over it here since this is a talking version, but it still reflects on how cheaply made these toys were from 2014. And it's sad that the quality has only now just improved right after the show ended. But other than that, it's still a nice Thomas overall. Here's a look at Annie and Clarabelle, who also have mud splatter detailing. Now, first of all, it's great to see longer coaches and other rolling stock in the newer Trackmaster line, and it's also great to have longer versions of these two again. I never liked the short versions they made in early Trackmaster Revolution. These are clearly more realistic, and not too different in length from the original coaches. You'll notice that they each have a red tab on their roof that you can slide, and that fills them up with passengers. Really cool feature here. We even get Sir Topham Hatt in the back of Annie on this side. There's also some cats and dogs on board, which is cute, but a little awkward in my opinion. Because realistically speaking, not many cats and dogs are comfortable with train travel. So to me, they just seem like an odd addition. But I'm really only keeping these as collectibles, so it doesn't really matter. All in all, pretty cool versions of Annie and Clarabelle. Alright, next up we have Diesel, who is actually the first talking pack that I received. I think this one is neat because you get a slate car with a removable cow figure, and of course, another wobbling troublesome tanker. Looking at Diesel himself, this version has red stripes on each side, which is interesting. He also has rivet detailing, even though he never had any in the TV series. But given that the other 3 have rivets, they probably did this to avoid making him the odd one out. I don't mind them terribly on here at this point because these are not models I would normally use in videos. Diesel's face is basically the same as his standard model, and you may also notice that his buffers are actually painted again. They've done the same thing with the other engines as well, except for Thomas, although since he's supposed to be muddy, it may have been intentional. Anyway, here's Diesel's sleigh car with the included cow. This one is sort of a light blue. I know it's not the most realistic color for a sleigh car, but that's okay, I still dig it. There's also mud splatter detailing on here as well, really like that, especially since it's meant to be a cattle car. Now, if we take the cow out of here for a moment and look inside, you'll see that it actually has some new molded detail. So in here we get a water trough for the cow, and also this big hay bale with a comb, brush, and loop of rope on top. Really excellent features here, although the hay looks a bit bland not being painted, but this is kinda what you'd expect from modern merch nowadays. The cow is also an excellent addition to this pack. I think it looks great, though for some reason it also looks kind of fierce, like it's about to charge at something. Not sure about anyone else, but that's just what I think when looking at it. Still though, I really like it. Finally, here's the troublesome tanker with milk, which uses the same mold as the one from the Percy and the Tanker pack. This one, however, has a see-through body with a plastic milk piece inside, and when the tanker wobbles, the milk actually shakes around, which is really cool. It also has a picture of a milk carton on each side to let you know that it's a milk tanker. Yeah, these new ones are shorter than previous versions, but I think it still looks pretty decent. I do own the orange tanker as well, except mine did not come with any wobbling wheels and instead just has standard ones. Kind of a disappointment there. This, on the other hand, did come with wobbling wheels, so I'm really happy about that. Plus, the faces on these tankers are actually based on the one from the Season 4 episode Toad Stands By. I like this a lot. I don't think Mattel has done many other references to the classic series with these toys, so this is an excellent design. Now we'll take a look at James. I do like this one as well, but in all honesty, I have to say this is probably my least favorite pack due to the car he comes with. Well, actually it's more the way it was executed, but we'll get to that in a moment. James has some interesting detail though. On the right side he has two workmen, one with a brush and the other with a rag. This one is actually pretty fuzzy on mine, but it's a talking version so I could care less. They both seem to be scrubbing some dirt or mud off of him. Or are these supposed to be scratches and he's just having a regular wash? I don't know. But there is also some soapy water trickling down him. I do like that. His boiler appears to be all shiny and clean, as you can tell by the bubbles and sparkles on here. Cool touch. And he also has some workmen on his left side as well. This one has a sponge and a bucket with more soapy water in it, and the other seems to have just finished cleaning him because this side of his cab is all shiny. You may also notice that he has a female driver, which I'm guessing is an attempt to push for more diversity. Pretty interesting detail there. The face mold is the same, but his expression has been slightly altered. So with this version, one eyebrow is raised, and he's also looking to his right this time. I kinda like that, gives him a new look for a change. And one more cool thing about James, the coal in his tender is actually removable. I think it's the same size as the stone piece from the Thomas and Percy set. Hopefully two of these can fit in one truck so that you can make a full load of coal for it to carry. Not sure if it'll work, I'll have to try that out at some point. Here's a look at his car, which basically resembles a van. You can actually tell by the molded plank walls around it and lines along the roof. This car has a sticker for the interior detailing. Inside we have two pigs, and one of them is covered in mud, as you can see here. Looks cute, I think this could go well with the cow car. I also like the spider web in the top left corner, that too is a nice touch. Plus, the door has mud splattered over it, which is perfect for a pig van. So there's a lot of detail to this side. You can also flip the door over to turn it from a van into a passenger coach, but I think this looks weird because the interior is still exposed. In fact, that's the main issue with this car. There's no way of fully closing it. In my opinion, this could have worked a lot better if it was simply just a van and the door was able to slide shut. I also think it looks better this way rather than as a coach because you still have that plain wall on the other side. Although if you wanted to get some use out of the coach form, given that this side is dining themed, you could have it parked on a siding and act as a mobile cafe. That's just one idea I had. Overall, it's not the best car, but it's not the worst. And finally, here is Gordon. I got this pack for Christmas this year. This is also the first talking Gordon that I own in this range, as well as the only one to be made for the Trackmaster 2 line. So, not really much to say about his design, except that he has some steam clouds streamed along his sides. These are fine on here to me because, again, it's a talking version and not the actual standard model. Unlike Flying Scotsman, who did in fact have steam clouds on his sides. But on the talking Gordon, they're not as bad. Actually, I forgot to point out that he also has bleeding stripe details. Those look pretty cool as well. Again, same face mold, but the expression is slightly different. This Gordon looks more determined, and he's also got rosy cheeks, which are pretty faint on here, but I don't mind it terribly. I do like the expression though. We all know Gordon is a self-important engine, so I think it really suits him. And he too has a removable coal load, which is basically the same as James. Although I did notice that his tender wheels are black instead of blue. No idea why, it really wouldn't have been hard to make them blue, but it's a minor error and barely noticeable on track, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. And here is his express coach. Now this, I'd say, is probably the biggest highlight of this pack. Until it was released, we have not seen any express coaches made for Trackmaster 2, so I'm really happy that we finally got one. It uses the same mold as Annie and Clarabelle, but I'm okay with it to be honest. They've done a pretty good job redressing it so that it looks more like an actual express coach. And of course, it does open up to reveal some tables and seats inside, which is a really excellent feature. There's printed tablecloth detailing here with plates, silverware, and napkins, and we even get this red carpet down below. I think the footprints, though, are a weird inclusion, especially the dog prints. In fact, if this is supposed to be mud, I'm not sure Gordon would appreciate having it on his Express. But the carpet itself is a nice addition. Now, the only other thing I'm not so crazy about are the hinges sticking out on the side. I mean, I know it's always been like that with C-inside rolling stock, and these are just built for the opening function. Although when I look at them, they kinda look like rockets or jet engines to me. So I guess my real nitpick is that they just seem to make it look a little less realistic, but not so much that I'd say it's model ruining. Other than that, it's still a neat express coach, and I think it stands out slightly more than James's van. Anyway, that is a look at the talking engines from 2021. It's a bit weird that they didn't do another Percy for this wave, since he's a widely popular character. But that's okay, we still got one in the Talking Thomas and Percy set. Also, there's something interesting to note about all these engines here. Despite being released a year apart, they're actually all designed to work together. So for example, James might say, "Hello, Percy," and Percy would say, "Hi, James." And this is really cool, because they can all call each other by name and not just friend. Also, given that we have another Thomas, these are both programmed to say Thomas and number 1 blue engine, if you happen to have one of the other nearby. Yeah, pretty funny if you ask me. Anyway, let's go ahead and do a test run with these. I won't be using this Thomas though, cause this video is meant to focus on the newer one. So for this next part, I took the batteries out to keep him from going off. But I will use Percy since this is the only talking interactive version of him, and also to show how he interacts with the other engines. So, without further ado, let's set these up and see them in action.
Glittering carriages? Hello, best friend! Bye, Thomas! Number 5 red engine. Hello, James. Rattling special delivery! Here's James! Let's go! Nailed to deliver! Hello, friends. Trembling tracks. What a busy day. Heaving hooks. Oh, hi, Gordon.
Hello, Diesel.
Where are you going?
I'm on my way to the docks. Express coming through.
There's nothing that a diesel can't do. Oh, hi, friend. Where are you headed? I'm not telling.
Number 4, Blue Engine. Hello, friends.
Hello, friend. I'm away.
Goodbye, friends.
Hello, friends. Flatten my funnel. Right on track. Bye, friend.
Fastest and best. I pull the express.
Hi, friend.
I'm strong, very strong. Express coming through.
Friend. Hello, friends. Oh, hi, friend. Where are you headed?
I need to cross the bridge.
Bust my buffers. Do I have a scratch? Hello, friends. Ta-da! Heaving hooks. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Honking horns. Silly steamies. What a busy day. Hello, James. Hi, Percy. Where are you headed? To the steamworks. Mind my paintwork. Hello, friend. Where are you headed?
I'm on my way to the next station.
Alright, so they all have a lot of phrases which I really like, but it's not just the engine's voices that we hear. You may have noticed that with Thomas, Annie and Clarabelle also have a bit of dialogue, and that is a cool feature. Of course, their voices do come out of his speaker here, as there are no actual voice boxes built into the coaches themselves. But I still like it a lot. I also like that they're able to interact with the Thomas and Percy models from the 2020 set, so they're not all limited by release. I think this was sort of a hidden gem by Mattel, and I gotta say, they can really be full of surprises when it comes to toys like these. It's just amazing how much technology has evolved throughout talking merch. Even though Trackmaster 2 will never beat the original range, I think these are some of the best items we've seen in a long time. Now, before I end this review, I'd like to quickly rate each pack based on what you get. So for Thomas, I'd give him a 6.5 out of 8. Love the sliding passenger functions for Annie and Clarabelle, as well as the inclusion of brief lines from them. James, again, is an excellent talking model, although due to his van not being able to fully close, I would have to give him a 5 out of 8. Diesel, I think, is a pretty valuable pack because you get a lot out of it with the cow and milk tankers, so he gets a 7 out of 8. And Gordon, with an express coach for the first time in Trackmaster 2, is a big treat. I like the interior detailing, though not a huge fan of those hinges on the other side. All in all, 6 out of 8 for him. Now, would I recommend these? Well, that depends. If you just started collecting Trackmaster and are looking to get additional rolling stock like Gordon's Express Coach, if you have the Talking Thomas and Percy set and are really into these talking interactive engines, or if you just want to get your hands on more of the newer rolling stock like I did, then yes, I would definitely recommend them. But if you're a longtime Trackmaster collector who already has a lot of similar rolling stock, or if you're really only into collecting new characters, then I would probably skip these. However, if you are planning on getting any of them, do it now while you still can, cause these are no longer current models. They are still available on Amazon, at least around $21 from what I've seen, but I can't guarantee how long they'll still be up. But anyway, I'm really glad to have bought these. I like them a lot. They are a little more expensive than the standard 3-packs, although it could just be due to inflation or the fact that these now have interactive functionality. So that is my review on the 2021 Talking Engines. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If so, please make sure to leave a like, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Alright guys, take care. This is Ramafool signing out.
Hello, Percy. And where are you going?
I'm on my way to the station.
Except he's already there.